That famous shark from Jaws has actually been caught. He's hanging up over here on the right-hand side of the harbor. So the people of Amity are breathing a sigh of relief these days. There's a police diver out there making a final sweep, making sure that everything is good to go.
Merak etme.
Oh no, do you guys see that? I see another fin out there in the middle of the water. Looks like that fin is swimming towards our diver. Hey, that's Tomas out there. Tomas, swim back towards the police boat. Get out of the water, Tomas. He's not listening. You all right, buddy? It looks like Tomas. No boss.
Kan çıktı onu yedi.
Sure had a lot of guts to be out there. Okay, stay in your seats. We're gonna pull forward. We're gonna pull up. We're gonna protect ourselves. We're gonna pull up and hide behind these flammable gasoline tanks. Don't worry, everyone knows gas is a great thing to hide behind, especially whenever danger is looming. So I'm sure that we'll be safe here. Ooh, I think the shark got a hold of the bait that was buoy out there in the center. So good. Oh no. Oh, who could have suspected this? Did anyone back there keep their eye on the shark? I think I might see him over on the other side.
Köpek balığı nerede?
Orada hala.
Ada köpek balığı çıktı. Ada. Köpek balığı çıktı.
Now that is just something you don't see every day.
Oradaki köpek balığı hala.
Unless you're our driver,
Oradaki
Chris.
köpek balığı hala.
Ay geldi seni yedi işte. Geldi ada yemeye çalıştı.
Multiple times a day. That was Bruce. That was the mechanical shark from Jaws. They named him Bruce during their filming. Steven Spielberg named him after his attorney, Bruce Raymer. And there is another Bruce the Shark that you might know from another movie, an animated movie. Disney Pixar's Finding Nemo from 2003. Yeah, that shark is named Bruce in Finding Nemo. It is a tribute to our Bruce, the shark that starred in Jaws in the summer of 1975. From one classic attraction to another, we are heading into this calls for weather that's not the normal, beautiful California sunshine that we get day in and day out. So we're getting all of the effects started for you on your left. You can kind of see those strobe lights up against the building for the lighting effects. They've even brought out speakers so you can hear the thunder, so you can hear these sound effects. Normally we'd add that in post-production, but we're bringing the whole scene together for you, including the water that's now flowing on your left-hand side as well. It's not very hard for us to create rain in Old Mexico. We have sprinklers hooked to the top of some of those telephone poles. It shoots the water into the air, and it just falls back down to earth naturally. We try and use a bigger raindrop than normal, so it has the best chance to appear on screen. You can be watching a football game, and they'll talk about how it's raining on the field, but on television, it can be hard to see that rain appear. So we want to make sure it shows up by using big raindrops and plenty of it, so it's nice and visible. Oh no, we might have left the water on for too long. We've got a bunch of it headed right for the tram.
Sel geldi. Bu da sel bastı yağmurdan.
Well, that flash flood was just the result of releasing thousands of gallons of water from up there at the top of the hill. We'll show you how that flood looks on camera, used for the movie Big Fat Liar, starring Frankie Muniz, Amanda Bynes, and Paul Giamatti. Points, Texas. It has that name because during the heyday of the Western genre, there used to be 6 different Western streets out here, and they all came together at a central hub. So we named the place 6 Points, Texas. We are that creative here in the industry. 6 Points is very historic. We've been filming the Western genre longer than anything else, since the late 19-teens and the early 1920s. And we still use the area to this day. It's used every so often. These sets were used in Quentin Tarantino's latest movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, starring Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio. They do have to make a couple changes to the area when they film an authentic Western scene. The biggest change has to do with the ground. They've got to cover up the concrete, the asphalt, with dirt. And when they're done, they sweep up all that dirt and they take it away. They do not leave it behind. We don't want dust blowing all over the lot on windy days. We don't want mud being tracked around. We get a handful of rainy days per year. So we only bring in the dirt when we need it. It's a good way to know if we are using the area. If there is dirt on the ground in 6 Points, that probably means a camera is pretty close by. We have been using the sets for a long time. For some classics, you might see some of your favorite old Western stars on your screens now. By the way, folks, just got to remind everyone to stay seated. If you drop your phone, you need to use the restroom, you can pull that red cord to get my attention. I'll be back to assist as soon as it's safe to do so. We're going to be heading up the hill. We're going to be passing by Jaws Lake one more time. Just as onlookers, just as passerbys this time. I want to play you a special clip from Steven Spielberg talking about creating Jaws the Ride.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed.
You know, Steven Spielberg, he definitely has our hearts here at Universal. He's important to us. We are driving on Steven Spielberg Drive. He's got a whole road named for him out here on the back lot. Steven Spielberg's relationship with Hollywood goes back to the earliest days of the studio tour.
My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus.
I'll show you just around the corner here from us. I think you'll recognize some of these next locations fairly quickly. We've also got some picture cars on display here in this area. A picture car is just any vehicle that is seen on screen of a movie or a television show. That means some picture cars end up becoming more famous than the actors and the drivers that are behind the wheel. And if you're talking picture cars at Universal Studios, you've got to have a few of the Fast and Furious cars. You'll see some of those on our left-hand side, down here towards the end.
Bilmiyorum. Bence kamerayla bir
This
şeyler
next
yapıyorlar.
set I think you'll be familiar with if you're a fan of thrillers,
Harry
you
Potter'ın
watch a lot of movie classics. If you know Alfred Hitchcock, I bet you'll know this set.
Araba vardı ya mavi olan. Harry Potter.
Of course, we are
Çektim
talking
göstereceğim
about
sana sonra.
Psycho. We've got the Bates Motel on our right-hand side. We've got the Psycho House up there on the hill that we'll pass ourselves in a moment.
Oyuncu.
Look at that. The one and only Norman
Film
Bates is
oynuyor.
down here at the motel working himself. He
Film
just
çekiyor.
stepped inside of cabin 1. He's probably doing a little spring cleaning. He's probably freshening up for our arrival. No, not good. It looks like he's currently helping his last guest check out. We'll just stay quiet. Hopefully he won't notice our tram. No, too late. Norman, please! Not the knife! We talked about this, Norman! No!
Adam bizi öldürmeye geliyor. Adam bizi öldürmeye geliyor. Bizi öldürmeye geliyor. Az kalsın adayı öldüreceklerdi.
Bize yaklaşmamak için yavaş yavaş yürüyor.
Ya şimdi çok gülüyorum. Bak adam. Şu Harry Potter'lara bak mavi olan. Gördün mü?
We are going to be entering one of the most colossal sets to be built
Harry
out
Potter'ın
here.
arabası.
We are entering the airplane crash site scene from
7 ile
Steven
başlayan.
Spielberg's
Evet.
War of the
Yakası
Worlds.
7 ile başlıyor.
Aynen.
This is all that
Adam-
is left of Tom
Uçak düşmüş
Cruise's
adam.
neighborhood from the movie.
Etrafa bak.
The airplane that you see on your left, that is a real 747. They purchased it from
Adam
an
buraya bak.
airplane graveyard. They took it apart piece by piece. They
Uçağın
loaded each
motoru-
piece onto a truck and then drove it here to Universal Studios.
Arabaya
So
bak.
they could film this one and only
Yazık
scene
ya,
for the movie.
yazık,
Take a look at
yazık.
this.
Kaybettik.
Gördün mü adamı?
Crash site set is kind of example of a set that is all designed around envisioning things that yeah, to sit down to talk about the world. I thought, what if the film could demonstrate on right in a good neighborhood? Because it's just something that's so
Close your eyes. Now close. Bobby, get in. Get in.
When they were putting together this scene out here, it took them 3 weeks to construct the set. It took them another week to film on it. In the movie, the scene's on screen for an entirety of just 4
patlamış.
minutes. All of this work for just 4
Tabii.
minutes worth of camera time.
Yataklar bile
War of
düşmüş
the
baksana.
Worlds.
Uçak
Now, you
koltuğu
see
da var.
the neighborhood for more than that. you see the neighborhood at one point when everything is intact and nice and normal. When you see those normal scenes, those are actually filmed on location in a real neighborhood in New Jersey that the crew picked specifically for filming. So it was two separate locations in reality. We had the regular neighborhood, and then we had the crash-landed 747 neighborhood here on the back lot. But the only scene that was filmed here was the post-747 crash landing. So that means roughly 4 minutes worth of time in the movie for all of this work that they built here on the studio line. We are just a few minutes from the end of our studio tour, so we will be returning to the theme park shortly. Remember to pull the emergency cord if the assistants and remain seated.
Collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an
Nereye gidiyoruz acaba bu sefer?
and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Clay, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking web and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kids Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Why? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy, old rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. Welcome to the world of no.
Şeyde bir yer görüyor musun?
Albert yıkılmış, niye yıkılmış?
Well, I guess we'll take a piece of Jordan Peele's advice and get out. But we are happy to have him as part of our Universal family, hopefully for a long time to come. We are going to be visiting another family. Stay in your seats. Our next stop will take us inside of the Sullivan Truck Repair Warehouse, where we have been invited to a party hosted by the Fast and Furious crew. Yeah, that's right. We're all part of the family now. They've added all of us to the guest list of their Monday afternoon shindig. That's very generous of them. We're definitely going to take them up on their offer. Now, the main part of the party is actually happening in the next room, but they asked us to hang out here first. They said they were going to brief us on the situation. I'm not too sure what that means, so I guess we'll find out from them. I think we're going to find out right now.
My name is Roman